Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
Hey Liz, how you doing?
Take it away, my friend. You're the host here.
We're so excited. Thank you so much. We're so excited. Today is an awesome day because we're actually going live on Facebook simultaneously, right? Which is very, very exciting. So we're very excited for the audience and all the support, and we're looking to grow even more as we share more information to kind of help people make better decisions financially, right?
So this is what we're going to tell the folks. If you're watching the replay on Facebook, you have to comment #replay. So whether you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube and it's not Tuesday, it's another day of the week. Yes. We want you to comment #replay because we're going to know that you watched the replay and you were able to get some wisdom when it comes to all things money matters.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, part of our episode today, we want to share because we went over it because our last month was month of September was Life Insurance Awareness Month. So we went over so much information on different how to use life insurance effective ways. So much, I mean, and we got a lot of feedback on that. But one person asked, okay, that was great, but what's the next step, right? So we want to have like this episode. It's kind of 5 takeaways. Like, how do we use that information effectively? You know, at the end of every chapter of a book, we tell you like a summary, right? Summary of the chapter kind of breaks it down for you. This kind of summary of the key points that take over, and it's always good to kind of go back to the episodes to kind of refresh more other words as far as that. So, a couple of things we want to share with you guys real quick. So let's go over it real quick. Let's dive right into it, and we're gonna have some time for Q&A afterwards also.
Oh, Q&A afterwards. Excellent.
Absolutely. The 7 key takeaways from life insurance that we covered. Number 1, which is probably the most important part we covered, I think, episode 3, is the main purpose of life insurance is to replace your income. Okay, because you hear so many people life insurance for this. The main purpose of life insurance is just to replace your income. The goal of a life insurance, when you get a life insurance plan, is to get what we call a big check for your family. Right. And you can go back to kind of listen to it more. We'll share you exactly what we're talking about. Because what happens, a lot of people use life insurance for investing, for this, for that, for this and that. But the main purpose, why you want to use life, the most effective way to use life insurance is for you to replace your income to get a big check. That's the first one, right? The second one, okay, people say, well, how much life insurance somebody needs? Technically, generally, you need about 7 to 10 times your annual income and protection. Okay. So let's say, because for example, is someone's making about $50,000 a year, you need anywhere from $350,000 to $500,000 of life insurance. Okay.
I think that's the part that a lot of people either forget or they're not aware of. A lot of folks are not aware of that part right there.
Exactly. One thing we come across so many times, we find so many people are underinsured and over premiumed. That means then don't have enough protection. They're paying too much money for whatever they have already. Okay. So you want to get 350 to, I mean, depends on your income, right? Responsibilities, but you want 7 to 10 times your annual income and protection. Because so many times I hear people, oh, I have 50,000, 100,000, like a round number, but that's really not what you need. You need to really kind of delve into it more and find exactly how much you need. You know, the third one, get it as soon as possible while you are young and healthy. One of the biggest mistakes people make with this, you know. Listen, there's 2 things that affect how much someone pays for life insurance is your age and your health, right? And let's say right now, as of today, we're not going to be any younger than we are right now, right? And the second thing, we're not going to be pretty much our bodies are not made to get healthier. Sometimes it does as we get older. Okay. So the biggest mistake people will make is say, you know what? I'm young right now. I'm 20, I'm 18, I'm 20, I'm 25. I don't need life insurance right now. No, get it as soon as possible. As soon as you can get it, because what happens is you end up paying a lot less in the long run, because life insurance is priced a certain way, pretty much, that the longer you wait for it, the more you're going to pay over a period of time. Okay. What happens, a lot of people say, well, I'm going to get life insurance when I'm old and sick. But the challenge is the insurance company is not going to approve you when you're old and sick. They're only going to approve you when you're young and healthy. Okay. So no matter how old you are right now, get it as soon as possible. Don't delay it. All right.
As soon as possible. Okay. While you're young and healthy, get your life insurance now. And these are the takeaways from the last 3 episodes, right?
2 episodes. Absolutely.
There was so much information that I love that you're grabbing some of the most important parts from the last few episodes and kind of like putting them together so that we can then ask some questions. So that's good. That's good. Those first 3 are amazing.
Absolutely. Number 4, do not depend on life insurance to your job. Don't depend on life insurance to your job. A lot of people, when you ask, I have life insurance to my job. It's not right. Number 1 is you can't take it with you. Right? If you leave the job, a couple of things, it's never enough. It's usually never more than maybe 1.5 twice your income. It's not that much. Okay. You lose it. If you're on disability, you lose it. So what happens, a lot of people that depend on life insurance to their job, and that's one of the biggest mistake you ever make. Get your own life insurance. So no matter, because average person switches 4 to 5 jobs in their lifetime. So think about that, right? Say, and imagine every time you try to get it, and what happens is you kind of leaving your financial legacy. You let your job, your employer, control your financial legacy. And I always say you need to control your legacy. Make sure you take care of your family. No one's going to take care of your family more than you. So you got to make sure you have your own protection, no matter what, your own personal plan, regardless what job you have. You switch job, it doesn't affect it.
So you can double up. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
If you already have an employer, one through your employer, you still can have your very own.
You can have your, absolutely. But at the same time, if they're giving it to you for free, or let's say it's like pennies on a dollar, yes. If you're gonna pay more than $40 or $50 dollars a month, or let's say a month or every 2 weeks on your plan, get rid of it. Say you don't want it, get your own plan. I'd rather someone take $40, $50 and just get their own plan rather than give it, because something you're gonna lose anyway because you can't take it with you. Okay.
I love that.
It makes absolutely no sense to do it.
So true. Dyron, if I'm saying his name right, he says
Dion,
the same
Dion.
thing. Have your own protection. Hello, Alistair. I'm seeing some folks on here. Cole is on here as well. Hello,
Yes,
Cole.
how you doing, bud?
And Anna is on here. Lesenia. We have Cesar. Cesar says yes, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's keep this thing going.
Absolutely. Number 5, people ask, well, what's the best plan to get? I think we spent some time on last week talking about that, right? The best plan to get, okay, is you want to get pure term insurance, but a guaranteed renewable option, okay, renewability option. The best plan, if you're going to get, okay, for the most part, is not perfect, but it's the best one you can get because it allows you to have more protection for less money. That's number 1, which is very important. And it gives you a lot more flexibility towards the end. Okay. Because there's 2 things that can devastate a family financially if you die too soon and live too long. Right. If you die too soon, that can hurt your family. If you live too long, you don't have enough money. That's not good either. So what it does is when you get pure term insurance, allows you to give the insurance company not a little bit of money, and you can get a big check for your family if something happens, God forbid. And at the same time, it gives you a lot of flexibility to allocate your money to save and invest in different vehicles so your money can grow, which is so important. That's the best plan you can get because you can get more coverage for a lot less money.
Excellent.
Number 6, and I like to emphasize, I mean, I know a lot of people are not going to like this, right? Especially other agents, right? Life insurance is not designed for savings and investing. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. Life insurance is not designed for saving and investing. Why is that, Bernard? Couple of reasons. Number 1 is you get low rate of return on your money. The second challenge is the company kind of locks up your money for a couple of years, right? The third is you have a lot of fees. They charge a lot of fees for your money, right?
Mhm.
And the fourth thing, they keep your money if you die.
They keep it.
Yes. If you pass, God forbid, if you have money, you keep money if you die. There's so many other vehicles out there that's that's so much better suited for you to save and invest your money. Roth IRA, for example, is one of the best saving investment for middle American. We're gonna spend a lot of time next couple episodes down the line talking about that more than anything, right?
Good. Can't wait for those.
It allows you to grow your money's tax deferred. I mean, you pay no interest on the interest you grow, your money grows. First part, when you take your money out, 59.5 is tax free. Like you get no tax, you don't charge any tax on that. Also, you have access, whatever you contribute in the account, you have access to your money from day one. So 100% of your money is kind of invested from day one. Okay, so you do have access to your money, whatever you put into it. If you had an emergency, God forbid. Okay, so that's one of the best ways to save and invest your money. Okay, other vehicles, mutual fund, those are best ways to. Life insurance is not all. When you save and invest money in life insurance, all you are doing, you're making life insurance a lot of money, and you're causing the agents that sell those policies to get big commission checks.
Yeah.
Yes, I said it. Absolutely, right? So this is not the best way, and there's other vehicles out there. But speak to someone. If you want to save and invest money, speak to someone that has an investment license. Speak to someone that has an investment license that can actually show you different options where you can save and invest. And there's other vehicles even outside of Roth IRA where your money can grow tax deferred, tax free. So much flexibility on top of that, which is so important. So that's the main thing. Like we talked about, and a lot of times when people, when someone's just life insurance license and talks about it, they say, "Oh, that's the best way to college. Best way." No, it's not the best way to do it. Okay, speak to someone that's an investment license. I can show you how to do. Number 7, okay, which is so important. Make sure your beneficiaries are updated on your plan.
That was a good one. I remember that one.
Beneficiaries are updated on your plan. You need to, I always recommend clients to have a beneficiary audit every year or 2 years. I'll try to get into as many of our clients as possible to ask them. Number one is, listen, you have these beneficiaries. Are those the same ones? Are you happy with the beneficiaries? Kind of revisit it, because sometimes you might have we had a situation happen, Liz, where someone was married, right? And had put their wife and husband as a beneficiary. Then they got divorced and separated and then passed away. They never changed the beneficiary. They never changed it. And the ex-wife ended up getting the money. And the new family's like, oh my gosh, what happened? No, you can't fight for it. Because what happened, once you set up a beneficiary life insurance, a court can contest that. It's true. You can't fight it. The family can't fight it. It's written in stone. You cannot contest that. So always to make sure that you have the right person as a beneficiary, which is so important.
Yeah. Somebody said you're dropping pearls. You really are dropping pearls here, Coach.
Yeah,
that right there. Oh my gosh.
It's so important. And that happens so many times. And also make sure, and when it comes to beneficiaries, people add, for example, someone's like a single mom, you have young kids, they put their kids. Don't put young minors as beneficiaries on your plan also. Why is that? Couple things. Number one, they can't collect the money because they're not 18. So what happens? The money's going to sit there a lot of times, right? The money's going to sit there and they're going to wait till they're 18, right, to get the money, right? And at the same time, the biggest challenge also, if they have like someone has, how can I say that? There's like a guardian, they're going to get the money. So we have to be very, very careful. This is why Markeisha talked about in episode 4 by setting a trust in conjunction. Make sure you set up a will. Make sure you set up trust in conjunction with your plan. Okay, that is so important. Don't just have it. You need to have a trust and a will set up with that. So if you have all these different kind of entities, different services out there, it's so important in conjunction with financial plan, because we've seen so many things happen, so many disasters, which is not really, how can I say that? Which is not good, which is unfortunate happens because lack of education, lack of knowledge, and that hurts a lot of families on the long run. So those are 7 key points that you want to kind of follow, and to make sure that you follow very step by step, that can give you a guide how to use the information correctly. But you definitely, everyone wants to go back. If this is your first time here, you definitely want to go back and be able to listen as much as possible, so you can kind of refresh, so you can get in-depth knowledge on each different topics we talked about.
Those are really good. I believe that you picked and you choose them because of you've been in the business long enough to know these are the ones that people really trip up on.
Exactly.
So let's make those the takeaways. The takeaways. Yeah, dropping some serious gems here. And I like the banter back and forth that we have going from Facebook to YouTube with the fellas as well, with Cesar. And so let's go ahead and get into some Q&A. Let's ask Bernard the questions. Let's ask him the questions. All right. So we have one question, and it's coming from Facebook. So let's say, what's the difference between beneficiaries and emergency contacts?
Great question. Great question. Beneficiaries, let's say someone's cover protected for 100,000 to the beneficiaries are the ones that are actually going to get the proceeds if something happens. Okay. Those are the beneficiaries. Okay. Now, what's the emergency contact? Emergency contact, for example, is someone like, I'll give you an example. One of the biggest challenges we have in a life insurance industry is sometimes claims don't get paid. And the reason claims don't get paid because sometimes beneficiaries don't even know they're beneficiaries on a policy. Like a lot of people, they don't know they're beneficiaries on a policy. So no one knows who and where to contact if something were to happen to someone. A lot of people assume just because you have life insurance, or if Scott, you pass away, that the life insurance company is not going to automatically contact the beneficiaries, let them know. Now there's billions of dollars right now, in life insurance proceeds where the beneficiaries don't even know the beneficiaries on a plan. In other words, so we always recommend we sit down, make sure you have emergency contact, make sure there's someone. Let's say if something were to happen to you, God forbid, I want to know, I want to introduce them to me or the agent. Make sure you introduce them to the agent, someone you trust. You don't have to tell them your personal information, how much protection you have, but at least let them know, listen, this is my agent, Tony. This is my agent. This is my financial code. This is my financial. If something were to happen to me, God forbid, contact them. So if something happens, so you can make sure my wishes are fulfilled. So that is so important to have that as a contact. Just like whenever if you ever been to the hospital and you had to fill out a form, you had a surgery or procedure, they ask you for what? Emergency contact. Who to contact if something would happen. Even when you're flying, you're booking your flight, they ask you what's the contact. So it's so important to have an emergency contact that don't let people know. Biggest mistake people make is like, they get life insurance and they never let anyone know they get it. Don't keep it a secret. Okay. Because a lot of companies now we work a little differently. I work a little differently because we make sure that if something happens, they kind of run to the Social Security Bureau, makes pass away, and we let the beneficiaries know right away. Okay, we heard someone pass away, and so I'll give you a personal story. About 15 years ago, right, we had a young man that we sat down, we did a protection plan for him, and it was about 400,000, right? But he never told anyone he had life insurance, right? So he unfortunately passed away. He passed away in his sleep. He had sleep, and he passed away in his sleep. And I think about 3-4 weeks later, right, his mom was going to his apartment, going to everything, and actually found the policy. Found the policy, right? The physical policy. And I said, and call the company and say, oh my gosh, this is just to see. She had no idea what was enforced. And guess what happened? It was for 400,000. And he put his brother as a beneficiary, but his brother didn't know. But thank God we found out, and we're able to get that claim paid.
That's wild.
Right. Okay.
That's wild. We have another question. How many beneficiaries can I have?
You can have as many as you want. You can have
really? That's a good question.
5, 10, 15, and you can determine percentages, what percentage, 10% equally, whatever you want. Okay. Absolutely.
Interesting. And in your opinion, since you've been in the business, why are so many fearful to actually get life insurance? That's another question.
Because number one, they don't understand it. right? And then understanding, number one. And there's which is people have this stigma, like if I get life insurance, something's gonna happen to me. Listen,
It's
or
psychological.
logically, hey, if I get it, something's gonna happen to me. And listen, something's gonna happen whether you have life insurance or not. It's just the way it is. Or they have the scenario: if I get life insurance, my husband and my wife is gonna try to my beneficiary is gonna try to get rid of me. Listen, if you feel that way, you kind of married to the wrong person, right? and those are stories I heard, right? So many times. I had even a story. This gentleman, he was like, I don't want to get life insurance because my wife's gonna get married, remarried, and spend my money with her boyfriend, all that stuff. And I'm like, listen, dude, you can't be jealous and dead at the same time. Okay, you gotta pick one. Which one you're gonna be, right? So but those are the things that people feel. But it's just like, I think it's lack of education. Really, like people don't understand how powerful it is, how impactful it is, and how it changes your family. You don't understand.
Correct.
So many families get devastated by not having life. Listen, I always tell someone, listen, I've seen more families get devastated by not having life insurance than by having life insurance. I've never heard of oh my gosh, I had life insurance and that's the worst thing I ever got.
No one says that. No one says that.
And you know what it is? It's the only plan. If you think about it, that's the only plan. One thing that's guaranteed in life, we all gonna pass away.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed. Listen, you get car insurance, you may never get into a car accident, but we still have it. We get insurance to our phones, you may not have replaced your phone. We'll get homeowners insurance, and the home may never burn down and ever use it. Life insurance is guaranteed. If you keep it, if you get you don't spend a lot of money for it and you keep it, it's guaranteed that someone's actually gonna beneficiary.
So important. So if you have a minor and all you have is minors, who do you put as a beneficiary?
You have to put someone you trust as a beneficiary, like a mom or a sister, someone you trust to be able to do it. Now, if there's a situation where you don't trust, you don't trust that they're gonna look out for your kids, right, the way they need to, that happens sometimes. Then you have to go the extra mile, and you have to set up a trust. Sit down with an attorney, set up a trust. That means to make sure that your wishes, a court-ordered trust, that make sure that your wishes are honored. That the person, whoever you're putting in charge of the executive of your estate, for example, will not abuse and make sure your kids get their money. Because what happens is, people get funny sometimes.
Yeah,
you know, money makes people funny. I mean, it's crazy. You can have someone, best friend, fan, but all of a sudden you money, and all of a sudden
things change. Next question. Do you recommend parents to put life insurance on their children, especially if they're 18 years old?
Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. I think when the kids are 18 years old, make sure you get, and it's so a lot of time for an 18-year-old person, 19, 20-year-old person is number one, you're locking in a rate, number one, a cost-effective rate. As an 18, 19, you can get sometimes $200,000 of protection for $20, $25 a month.
Yeah.
It's so cost effective. A 30 could be. It's so cost effective. I always tell get as much as possible, as young as possible, as much as possible.
Good. You know? Another question: does the beneficiary, since we were talking about beneficiaries and emergency contact, who has the most power?
Of the beneficiary. I mean, emergency contact has no power whatsoever. They have no access to your plan. They don't even know how much protection. All they know is, listen, this is, if something happens to such and such person, this is who you contact to make sure it's taken care of. That's all it is. They have no power. They disclose anything. They're just someone to communicate. So let them know, like, you to fulfill your wishes if something were to happen, God forbid.
Here's another good question. Do you have to tell all the information on the policy to the beneficiary or the emergency contact?
Emergency contact, absolutely not. Beneficiaries, that's a personal decision that whoever the policy owner has, make sure that they want to let whoever they know how much protection they have. And that's a personal decision. But emergency contacts, they have no access to information. We're not required to tell them anything, and we're not going to tell them anything. And you don't have to tell them anything. They're just for exactly what they're a contact. That's pretty much.
Okay, this is good. We got some funny stuff going on here. You can't be dead and jealous at the same time. Shaking my head. Facts. That's facts right there. And for some reason, This beautiful woman says, my husband leaves me. Well, he leaves me some money after he passes. I won't want a man.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And then here we go. Another question. Are there different tiers to a life insurance plan? That's a good
Absolutely,
question.
absolutely different tiers. I mean, the good thing is customized towards your need, everybody's different. Everyone has different goals. So the key is sit down with someone and kind of we can customize something for you. And listen, when I first initially started, I didn't have a family yet, pretty much. So I started with something cost effective, but as I start earning more income, I start having more responsibility, I increased it. You know,
Yeah.
I started with 25 years old. My first plan was about I had 200,000 and I was paying maybe like $30 a month for it at that time because I was single, but I locked in. But as I kids got married and our family grew, my income grew. I had more responsibility. We had mortgage, businesses, and things like that. So I'm very transparent. I'm at over 2 million right now of life insurance, but that's my personal trust. That's my personal need. But when I first started, it was just something,
Yeah.
So the good part about that, just get as much as you can get comfortably.
Do you put a baby on a policy?
Yes, absolutely. I always recommend. Yes, as a month old, 2 months old, you can get. I mean, and it's something that is very touchy, but is necessary conversation because
Hmm.
it's necessary. Because I mean, you never want to think. The last thing you want to think about is you have like a child pass, but that happens sometimes. Unfortunately, um, things happen. Sometimes kids pass away sometimes, and at least get some. You don't get a lot for it. You don't get never see what happens. A lot of people they'll give their kids 100,000 now. No, never more. You shouldn't never get more than 50,000
Hmm.
because think about the purpose of life. And we talk about is to replace their income. They don't have any income to replace. So why are you getting so much cover? But get as much. Put like a rider on your policy where you get maybe 10,000, 15, 25,000. But listen, last thing, think about average person now. Let's just call it reality. Average person has less than $2,000 or $3,000 in their checking account. It's average person living paycheck to paycheck. The worst thing that happens if someone pass or you have a child that passed away unfortunately and you have to kind of you more and you have to find 10 money for the final expenses. And
Yeah.
it's just a double it's a double blow.
Yeah.
At least to have that, here's what I recommend. I recommend you have at least 25,000. Guess what happens? Sometimes, let's say if something happens to your child, God forbid, you want to make sure that at least you have a month, some income.
Right.
You can take a month off and it's not going to hurt you financially.
Correct. For grieving and things like that.
I don't know anyone that can go right back to, I mean, you don't even think about it, but it's just, I've seen it happen and it's better to be safe than
Yes.
sorry.
Absolutely. Timna says, do you recommend multiple policies for blended families? And can you even do that? That's a really good question because so many people have blended families.
Absolutely. I mean, if the needs requires, I mean, every dynamics of relationship is different. I mean, we have blended families where everything's close. Like we have a blended family, and my wife and Eileen and I, and we're very, very close. But some family, it's not the same dynamic. So if the need requires it, I definitely recommend to have that.
So good. I'm loving this question here. What's the best scenario for a single person with no children?
Great question. What I would do, right? I would go back and go to episode, I think episode 3, right? Episode 3 or 5, one of them. I get
something like
one of those episodes, right? That and we cover in detail exactly why would someone single have life insurance. And I think we hinted a little bit of it earlier that if you want to have at least, because number one is age and health is a determining factor how much you pay for life insurance. And the younger you are, I definitely lock it up. And sometimes it's so cost effective because here's what I tell. Listen, someone that's 20, that's 20, 25 or 30, young with no children. Think about you. You pay sometimes less than a dollar a day for that. Think about that. You get a cup of coffee at Starbucks, you're paying $4 a day or something like that. So to have lock-in life insurance plan for 30, 40 or $50, like, it's so cost effective. It makes sense to get it,
Yeah, for sure. I have another question. I see Mika's on. Hey, Mika. Thanks for joining us tonight. And then we have, and I guess we could close with this question, is what happens after someone passes? Like who guides us? Who guides the people when it comes to the money and their policy and what happens?
Great question. You wanna, if you have someone you work with, this is why it's very important to have someone that's not only life insurance and investment license to take care of the needs. Why is that? Because they can make that, they can guide you and make that money last you as long as possible, because you need guidance. It's so important. This is why financial education is so important, because think about that. And if you leave, if you have, let's say, 3, 4, 500,000 protection, if the person who you live in has no education, how you think they're gonna make that money last?
Correct.
They're not. They're not gonna make that money last. That money's gonna go just like that.
Yeah, you got to stretch it out for as long.
You have to sit. They have to sit down with someone that has the able to guide them to make sure, right? To make sure they let the person let the whoever the beneficiary to know. And that's one of the requirements. When I sit down with someone, let's say I implement a plan for someone, I want to talk to the beneficiaries.
Yeah.
I want to let them know this was going to happen, and to guide. And also at the same time, there's a lot of times I've told I've shared with the listen, you need to get a new beneficiary.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get new, because this person I spoke to, based on what I share with them, is just gonna, if something happens, they're not gonna be good stewards of it. They're gonna blow it. They're not gonna appreciate it, and it's I would change. And we have to they change beneficiaries, because we want to make sure that that person, listen, your money lasts. We want to make sure that we have that money grow and multiply, at least last as much as possible.
And you can change a beneficiary at any given time.
Change anytime, as long as you don't. There's a box sometimes people check, is irrevocable beneficiary. Never click that box, because once you click irrevocable beneficiary, you cannot change it.
Settled.
You cannot change it. And I would never do that. Never change that.
Well, I love this. This was great information. And I really believe that the questions from our guests watching were spot on.
Yes,
Lots of good stuff here. And
yes.
You are licensed in life insurance and investment.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of states. I don't know how many states. I think 20, half the country, maybe 15, 20 states, maybe.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So
Absolutely.
Not only are we getting this knowledge, but we're getting to know the person who can coach us and get us through all of these things. This was a great wrap for the last episodes, and kind of putting it all together and doing some takeaways. Absolutely.
And the next episode is going to be even more, because it's going to be a very controversial episode, but it's going to be a very good episode. We're going to talk about, because one of the episodes we talk about the 5 rules of wealth, protecting your assets. We're going to talk about the biggest mistakes that people make, but now to protect. We're going to talk about protecting your identity, which is so important. We're going to talk about that, and also protecting your money. There's a lot of mistakes. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of people out there that are out to give wrong financial advice that can make you lose money. And we're going to make sure the common, not all of them, but at least the common 3 to 4, the things to look out for, and to watch out for, and to make sure you don't get caught into that. Okay.
So you're gonna let us know what the red flags are.
Red flags, absolutely, red flags.
Perfect. So you don't want to miss it. Don't forget, like it says down in the bottom, you see it scrolling. Don't forget to share, to comment, to like, share this link with somebody, because trust me, they're going to be so blessed. Thank you, Dizzy, that commented, Sally Caldwell that's on, and Lesenia, Eileen, all of you all that are jumping on and making comments. This is absolutely fantastic. Again, share, comment, like, and let's keep this love and this momentum flowing when it comes to all of the knowledge that we so desperately need.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Bernard.
We're excited. Thank you so much, Liz. And listen, have a great week, and look forward to seeing you guys next week. And make sure you share, and so we can actually have 200 followers on Facebook, and we can get up to 1,000. Let's just go out there and just share as much as possible.
Yeah. Next, we're going after Instagram. Will be next.
That's the next step. Yes, we're going
That's
for
the
it.
next step. Thank you guys so much. We will see you soon. And until next time, bye, Bernard.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition. And until then, keep building your empire.